I in the midst of you am mighty. Hear it as now, not as history. I will never leave thee nor forsake thee, not if you are good, not if you are clever, not if you have earned it, never. Be not afraid, saith the Lord, for I am with thee. Closer than breathing, nearer than hands and feet, the I that formed thee from the womb abides. This is the promise, and it is the ground under our feet before we take a single step. Yet I know the ache that rides beneath the polished schedules and the efficient calendars. Many of you, high performers by every outward measure, can marshal a team, outline a quarter, spin 5 plates in a high wind. But have you noticed that at the moment of true need, on the eve of a decision, in the hush before a signature, the inner compass seems to go strangely mute? You push harder and the needle jitters. You gather more data and peace hides as if playing child's games among the trees. You pray, yes, but if you are honest, much of that prayer is another form of pushing, telling, pleading, calculating. And the silence feels like abandonment. Hear me gently. It is not abandonment. It is interference. The signal is not absent. The receiver is overworked. Be still and know that I am God. Not strive and know. Not figure it out and know. Be still. The very strain that appears so responsible, so admirable, jams the quiet voice that never shouts. Effort multiplies noise. Listening unveils guidance. Take no thought for your life, the Master said. And he was not recommending negligence. He was prescribing the one remedy that restores hearing, release. Now, could you just for a moment say the word I softly and notice where it arises? Go on. I. Not out there, not above the rafters. I. Where did you find it? Not in a book, not in a forecast. I. That is the door. Do not be frightened by its simplicity. This I is not the personal ego puffing itself for the contest. This is that I am which spake to Moses from the bush that burned and was not consumed. Before Abraham was, I am. When I say I in this way, I speak of the indwelling life that knows the path because it is the path. It lives your living. It performeth that which is given you to do. This is our thesis, and you will prove it in your own bones. Striving blocks inner guidance, contemplative listening, withdrawing faith from externals, unveils it God, 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 not as syllables of magic, but as a turning, a ceasing, a consent. Stop pushing, listen, be led. Let those 3 words write themselves on the inside of your hands, where you will see them when you reach again to seize a lever. Stop pushing, listen, be led. Consider the radio forever broadcasting in the room. If your dial is twisted hard to one side, you will say, there is no music. But the broadcast has never ceased. The correction is not to demand louder towers. The correction is to release the hand, center the dial, and let the tone come through. In quietness and in confidence shall be your strength. Is. So for now, in this first turning, let us name the block and the way. The block is strain, the way is stillness. The promise precedes both. I in the midst of you am mighty. If you must do anything, do this little nothing. Breathe and whisper, here am I. Speak, Lord, thy servant heareth. Then let the hearing do its work before you do yours. You will find that guidance is not manufactured, it is recognized, not shouted, revealed. And when it moves you, as the river carries the leaf, without asking the leaf to be clever. Fear not, he leadeth you beside the still waters, and the stillness itself becomes the leading. Now, let us look squarely at the mechanism of our interference. Because it is very simple, and because it hides in the clothing of virtue. The more you push, the less you can hear. That is it. Be still and know that I am God. Not be busy and know. Not compute and know. The personal mind, which has done many useful things for us, balanced books, learned languages, remembered where we left our keys, believes that everything surrenders to more of itself, more thought, more effort, more cause and effect leverage. But grace is not a machine. Grace is a presence. I, in the midst of you, am mighty. When I lean on levers, I move levers. When I rest in I am moved by the one that doeth the works. Human hustle runs on the law of cause and effect. If I input 5 units of analysis, I can expect 10 units of outcome. But have you not seen that in the things that truly matter, peace, right timing, the word in season, your 10 units often purchase only restlessness? A state of grace, the masters tell us, banisheth, annihilateth, wipeth out the compulsion of law. Under grace, you are not the engineer forcing steam through pipes. You are the leaf born on the river that knows its own sea. He performeth that which is given me to do. He. When the center acts, the circumference finds its place without your scheming. How, then, does effort jam the signal? Noise. Cognitive noise. The personal mind multiplies thoughts as rabbits multiply in spring. You begin with a simple fork in the road, and 5 minutes later, the desk of consciousness is covered with memos, pro and con, fear and forecast. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. That is not a scold. It is a diagnosis. Divided attention cannot hear a single quiet voice. Elijah did not find guidance in the wind, nor in the earthquake, nor in the fire, but in a still, small voice. Still, small voice. If your inner room is filled with the clatter of self-counsel, the whisper will seem absent, though it is never absent. I will never leave thee, nor forsake thee. Now, do not mistake the Master's word as mystic apathy. Take no thought, for your life is not a charter for negligence. It is a technology for hearing. It instructs you to withdraw the grasping, predictive machinery from the controls so that the subtle current can be felt. To take no thought is to unclench. It is to let the mud settle so the water clarifies by its own nature. Try to see this with me. When you stop stirring the pond, you are not doing nothing. You are doing the one thing that allows vision to return. In quietness and in confidence shall be your strength. That is a manual, not a motto. Well, but isn't analysis responsible? At its place, yes. But the assumption that more analysis produces better outcomes, especially in matters of direction, is one of the tender idols we must set gently aside. A friend once brought me 2 proposals, each with columns and color, each defended by smart people. The more we read, the more the mind argued for both and against both. We laid them down, sat in quiet, and said nothing but God, God, God. In 5 minutes, one line in one proposal lifted itself as if ink had turned to light. The decision was not deduced, it was seen. Months later, that luminous line proved to be the hinge on which all success turned. The still, small voice had been there from the first sentence. Our noise had only made it inaudible. Guidance is subtle, simple, near, closer than breathing, nearer than hands and feet. It does not arrive with brass bands. It arrives with a felt rightness, a release, a yes without strain. And so the reframe of control is this. Control is not compulsion. Control is consent. You are most effective when you stop trying to be the cause of everything and become the willing transparency through which the cause reveals itself. Take no thought, not because life is unimportant, but because life in you is present, sufficient, wise. The more you push, the less you hear. The less you push, the more you discover that hearing becomes leading, and leading becomes doing, and doing becomes done not by might, nor by power, but by my Spirit, saith the Lord. Now we look at power, not the clenched fist kind, not the caffeine and calendar kind, but the only kind, God, the only power of the universe. Only power. Say it within yourself and let every rival fall away. Only power. If there were two, we would live in fear, bargaining with forces, attempting to appease one and outwit the other. But hear the ancient decree. I am the Lord, and there is none else. None else. Therefore, when we speak of guidance, we are not speaking of a private talent or a superior brain. We are speaking of the activity of the one power revealing itself as wisdom in the midst of you. Jesus stated it so plainly that the human mind keeps trying to complicate it. I can of mine own self do nothing. And again, the Father that dwelleth in me, he doeth the works. Do you hear the shift? He doeth the works. He performeth that which is given me to do. Our role changes at once from engines to instruments, from manufacturers to transparencies. A violin does not strain to be music. It consents to be played. A window does not force the sun into the room. It remains clear and allows the light to enter. So with us, the more we accept that I in the midst of me is the actor, the planner, the provider, the knower, the more we find that what once took grit now moves by grace. Prayer, then, must also be reframed. Prayer is not informing omniscience of conditions. It's somehow missed overnight. Your Father knoweth what things ye have need of before ye ask him. The asking of which the Scriptures speak is not reportage. It is opening. It is consent. It is the heart that says, Speak, Lord, thy servant heareth. In true prayer, we release the clenched intention to be cause and we rest as effect. Not the effect of human cause and effect law, mind you, but the effect of grace which canceleth law. Be still and know that is prayer. God, God, God. Then silence, in which the imprisoned splendor finds a way to escape. Identity must pivot here, or the old habits will reclaim the throne by noon. The capitalized, I do not forget, this goes before you to make the crooked places straight. I will go before thee, saith the Lord, and make the crooked places straight. Not your cleverness, not your hustle, I. When you reach for the pen to sign, or for the phone to speak the deciding word, pause that half-breath and acknowledge, I in the midst of me is mighty. I is closer than breathing, nearer than hands and feet. I knows, I leads, I provides the word in season and the stillness in storm. Then you will discover that the step you take is not lonely. It is accompanied, empowered, inevitable as sunrise. Outcome must be released, or we return to idolatry, become a beholder. Moses counseled a frightened people, stand still and see the salvation of the Lord. See it, do not manufacture it. The earth bringeth forth fruit of herself, said the Master, and of the seed it springeth and groweth up, he knoweth not how. He knoweth not how. Oh, what a relief to the tired mind that has been peering behind every curtain to force a result. Never look for results. Look to I, behold, witness. And as you behold, the works appear, not by might, nor by power, but by my Spirit, saith the Lord. Well, how do we live this in an hour so loud with outcomes, quietly, willingly? We allow the inner ordination to precede the outer movement. Before the meeting, a pause. God, God, God. Not as magic syllables, but as the clearing of the window. Then a simple consent. Here am I. Do thy will through me. And then you watch, not tensely, but as a lover watches the horizon for the first tint of dawn, for the subtle yes. You do not drag an answer out of heaven. You notice the answer that is already rising within, as certain and as gentle as tide. So let the world say grit. We say grace. Let the world shout results. We become beholders. Let the world tally leverage. We abide in the one that doeth the works. If I in the midst goes before, then my road is not a conquest, it is a revealing consent, not compulsion. That is your yoke, and it is easy. That is your burden, and it is light. Now the way of it, very simply, and please notice the order, because order here matters. 2 parts. First, contemplation, brief, reverent statements that turn the face Godward. Second, listening, quiet receptivity without asking or outlining. Say little, mean much, then listen until the inner stillness answers. Part 1, contemplation. We are not informing omniscience, we are consenting. We are not dragging a power into the room. We are remembering the presence that fills it. So the statements are few and weighty, and they are not about the problem, they are about God. Try these and choose 2 or 3 that ring true to you. God, the only power. I in the midst of me am mighty. Be still and know that I am God. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. Speak, Lord, thy servant heareth. Do not rush them. Speak one softly within, and then here is your micro practice. Give it 30 to 60 seconds of inward stillness to settle. 30 to 60 seconds. Let the sentence become a door, not a speech. One sentence, 1 minute. Again, another sentence, another minute. God, God, God. Then silence. Yes? Set a boundary here that will save you much wandering. Leave the problem outside. Do not bring the patient and the condition into the silence. If you smuggle the trouble in and hold it up to the presence, as if to say, look at this, the mind will start diagnosing again and the quiet will thin. Take no thought for your life, the Master taught, not because life is trivial, but because thought is noisy. In contemplation, we refuse to outline outcomes, refuse to argue a case, refuse to rehearse fear. We give the mind the pure food of truth, and then we stop its eating long enough to digest. The Lord is in his holy temple. Let all the earth keep silence before him. Let it. Let even your most virtuous ideas bow outside the door. Part 2, listening. After the sentence, the minute. After the minute, more silence. This is the heart of the practice, and it is the part the personal mind thinks is nothing. It is not nothing. It is the womb of everything. Listen without strain, without leaning forward for a voice as if on a telephone. Listen as you would listen to the sea, no demand, only awareness. Speak, Lord, thy servant heareth. Then hush. You are not checking your watch for results. You are not scanning for signs. You are abiding. Now, sometimes there will be a gentle release in the chest, a lightness, a click as if a gear set rightly. Sometimes there will be a word or a phrase that rises, not shouted, but simple and peaceful. Sometimes there will be quiet alone. All of these are answers, because the answer is presence, and presence orders steps even when you do not yet know how. Let us do a small round now, because practice teaches better than talking. Where you are, inwardly say, God, God, God. Then be still 30 seconds. No asking, only being. Now say, be still and know that I am God. Then again, 30 seconds of listening. Now, speak, Lord, thy servant heareth. And again silence. If the mind brings in a to-do list, smile and let it stand in the hall. You do not invite it into the sanctuary. If an anxiety image floats up, snakes, pink elephants, let it pass on the river of breath. You are not its audience tonight. Do this once in the morning before the day scatters you, and once in the evening when the world has had its say. Then begin to slip these tiny rounds between the scenes of your day before you open the email that seems decisive, in the pause before you answer the phone, the half minute after you park and before you walk in. 1 sentence, 1 minute, 1 listening. Never look for results. Look only to I. The imprisoned splendor finds a way when the window is clear, and you will find, quietly and without announcement, that life begins to move from cause and effect, effort into grace, that a word is given in season, a step is shown for today, and the rest is left to him who goeth before you to make the crooked places straight. Now we come to the listening attitude itself, the body, the breath, the inner lean that says yes without pushing. Do not complicate this. Simplicity is its genius. Sit as you are in an ordinary chair. Let the spine be easy and upright, not ramrod, not collapsed, as though a cord at the crown draws you lightly toward the ceiling. Shoulders settle as the exhale leaves. Breathe as trees breathe, quietly, regularly, without managing. And let your hands, if you will, rest open upon your lap, palms up, as a sign that you grasp for nothing and defend nothing. This little posture is a sermon your body preaches to your mind. I take no thought, I receive. In quietness and in confidence shall be your strength, not in tension and invention. In quietness, in confidence. Now the attention. Place it lightly, like a bird on a bough, upon a single truth, and then release even that. Try this within. I in the midst of me am mighty. Whisper it once, then stop. Do not ride the sentence like a horse around the track for 10 laps. Let it deliver you to the gate and then dismount. The sentence is not the presence, it is the door. You have touched the door. Step through. Be still and know that I am God. Then listen, no fishing for words, no leaning forward inside the mind as if pressing an ear to a keyhole. Let awareness rest back into itself as if the whole room is listening, not just your head. Speak, Lord, thy servant heareth. Timing now. Do not make a marathon of this. The mind loves to turn a meadow into a mine. Keep it brief and frequent, 2 minutes here, 3 minutes there, before the call, after the email, in the parked car, before you walk in. Little obediences that become a way of life. These small, faithful returns polish the inner window better than a single heroic hour of tense endurance. Think of tide and breath, in, out, in, out. Day by day the shoreline is changed. So with you, the imprisoned splendor does not need your strain. It needs your openings, many and gentle. Open out a way for the imprisoned splendor to escape. What are the signs that the window has been wiped? They are modest. A soft release, as though a knot in the chest untied itself. A warmth that is not from the room, the sensation sometimes of a small weight setting down inside, or a click as a gear that has found its tooth. Sometimes one quiet word rises, not argued for, simply given. And sometimes, beloved, only quiet. Do not chase any of these. If you reach for them, they vanish like minnows. Receive whatever comes as you would receive, whether you did not order. If sun, thank you. If cloud, thank you. If stillness, thank you. The answer is presence, and presence orders steps. You are not looking for fireworks. You are consenting to light. Never look for results. Look to I. Your rule, then, and it will save you from 1,000 detours. Dwell in quietness and confidence. Confidence in what? Not in your technique, not in posture, not even in sentences, however pure, but in the one who promised, I will never leave thee nor forsake thee. Confidence that I, in the midst of you, is already active, already guiding, already performing that which is given you to do. When distraction arrives, and it will smile, let it stand in the hall. Return to the simple posture, the easy breath, the open hands. Touch one sentence, God the only power. Then release the sentence and listen as to the sea. In 2 minutes, you have returned to center. In 3, you have said yes without words. I say again, because repetition here is mercy, never look for results. Results belong to law. You are consenting to grace. Results belong to boasting. You are consenting to I. Stand still and see the salvation of the Lord. See it. Do not make it. And as you practice brief, frequent light, you will discover without announcement that your days begin to turn on a quieter hinge. Ideas come dressed in peace. A no that used to cost you a week of debate now arrives like clear weather. The next right step appears within the silence that you refuse to crowd, not by might, nor by power, but by my spirit, saith the Lord. So sit, easy spine, easy breath, open hands, one truth, then release. Listen. 2 minutes, 3, often. Receive the click and do not chase it. Dwell in quietness and confidence. And something wonderful that is not you and yet is the deepest, you begins to live your living. I, in the midst of you, am mighty. Yes. Isn't that wonderful? Let me tell you how this works when the ink is wet and the clock is loud. Years ago in Honolulu, warm air, easy trade winds, the sort of day that makes a hurry feel foolish, I had arranged to secure a hall for meetings. Everything was in order, references, photographs, a tidy lease on the table. The manager was kindly and persuasive. If we can sign by 4, he said, you will have the dates everyone else wants. The mind nodded. The columns added up. It was the sensible step. I reached for the pen, and there it was, not a voice, not a shiver of fear, not logic presenting a red flag, only a quiet no, so gentle it could have been missed if I had been pushing. No. It carried no threat, no drama, and immediately with it came peace, as if a hand had pressed the ripple from a pool. I set the pen down and smiled. Not today, I said. The manager leaned in with all the reasons that the window was closing. I understood. I felt no argument rise. I did not begin to compute alternate venues or make feverish calls. Inside, I touched what we have been practicing. God, God, God. Speak, Lord, thy servant heareth. And the stillness replied with nothing more than continued ease. I walked out without a signed paper and without a story to explain it. Do you see? Obedience first, understanding later. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. He shall. Not the cleverness of your pathfinding, but he. The next morning before breakfast, a call came from a friend I had not expected to hear. Have you seen the morning paper? The hall we would have leased had been cited overnight zoning issues, back taxes, a fire code repair that would have closed the building for weeks and might have entangled us for months. Had we signed, we would have poured time and treasure into a corridor that did not lead anywhere God intended us to go. The Lord shall go before you, and the God of Israel shall be your reward. He had gone before. He had been our reward. I had merely laid the pen down. Now, understand me well. I claim no skill in sniffing out municipal entanglements. I did not outthink the problem. I did not run faster than the trouble. The Father that dwelleth in me, he doeth the works. He doeth the works. That little no, carrying peace and asking nothing of me but consent, ordered my steps better than hours of analysis could have. We held the meetings elsewhere, and the doors opened in that effortless way that always feels like the tide has remembered you. Not by might, nor by power, but by my spirit, saith the Lord. You have had this, haven't you? A hand on the doorknob and something within loosens your grip. A sentence on your tongue and it is taken from you. A turn in the car and for no reason you can argue. You wait, then a truck flies through the intersection that would have found you. You say later, I'm glad I paused. That was not luck. That was not anxiety, superstition. That was I in the midst, closer than breathing, nearer than hands and feet, ordering your step and sparing you the tuition of hard learning. The difference between a superstition and guidance is peace. Fear shouts and hurries. Guidance whispers and settles. My peace I give unto you, said the Master, not as the world giveth. But do not boast in being guided. Do not hang the lease on your wall as proof of your insight. Bow, give thanks. Return to the simple practice that made the whisper audible. It was not a heroic fast or an iron will. It was the brief consent of a listening heart. God, God, God. One truth, 1 minute. Then hush. The obedience is small. Set down the pen, wait a day, take the other road, make the quiet call. The fruit is large. He performeth that which is given me to do. He performeth. And the marvel is this, each time you heed the gentle no or the gentle yes, your confidence moves from externals to the eye within, and the line clears. The signal steadies. The next right step appears again, modest and sure. So, when the next invitation comes to hurry, remember Honolulu, or remember your own kitchen door where you paused and were saved. Do not demand reasons. Obey the quiet nudge that arrives with peace. Results are incidental. Presence is the point. And you will find, as surely as morning follows night, that the one who promised, I will never leave thee nor forsake thee, was not speaking poetry. He was describing the way your life is to be led. Stand still and see the salvation of the Lord. See it. Do not make it. Obedience to that still small voice will walk you around more trouble than your brightest hours could ever map. Isn't that wonderful? Now, if we are to keep that line clear, we must learn to tell appearance from reality. We must learn to drop snakes and pink elephants. Scripture says, thou art of purer eyes than to behold evil, and again God is light, and in him is no darkness at all. If God is too pure to behold iniquity, and if God is the only power, then evil, sin, disease, fear, failure cannot be a presence in God. It can only be an appearance in the human sense, mind. Do you see? We are not denying that we feel the throb of fear or see the print on a paper. We are denying its divinity, its lawfulness, its reality in I. That difference is everything. Consider the common tale. At dusk, a coil lies by the path. The heart leaps snake. A lamp is brought, and the snake is revealed as a rope. Did the lamp kill a serpent? No. The light dissolved a mistake, or the child who, urged to think of anything but pink elephants, finds them prancing on every inner wall. Suggestion, not substance. So with many of our terrors, forms in shadow, magnified by repetition, enthroned by our attention. Buddha sat under the tree while Mara's parade tried its whole theater, fear, desire, accusation. He did not wrestle, he beheld. I see you. The parade vanished for lack of audience. Stand still and see the salvation of the Lord. See it. Do not stage it. Well, then, what is our method when fear arises? Behold God. Not the fear, not the symptom, not the pink elephants that promise to stampede more loudly the more you stare, turn the face. God, God, God. Say within, slowly, as one who means it, God, the only power, I in the midst of me am mighty. Be still and know that I am God. Then hush. Refuse to argue with the snake. Bring the lamp. Let presence be the light. As you behold, the static of fear fades not by your skill, but because light makes its own case. Perfect love casteth out fear. Love, not logic. Love, not wrestling. I knew a woman, a very competent soul, who woke at 3 with a sensation in the chest that sends many into spirals of prognosis. The pink elephants came as headlines. She had learned this way, so instead of bargaining with the body, she sat upright, opened her hands, and said only, "The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear?" Then silence. Again, God, God, God. Silence. The waves slapped for a time. Then something in the room changed, not a spectacle, a soft untying. Guidance rose only as a simple instruction for the morning. Walk in the garden before calls. She obeyed. By noon the body was easy, the mind clear, and an email had arrived that answered a question she would have chased for 2 anxious days. Did the sentence fix a physiology? No. The lamp revealed a rope, the static dropped, and the line for guidance cleared. This is the practical beauty of discerning appearance from reality. You stop fixing and begin beholding. You become the witness instead of the warrior. You refuse the mind's invitation to build shrines to snakes. You do not take counsel of pink elephants. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. Not want for protection, for clarity, for timing. As Fear's theater closes for lack of audience, the still small voice that never left the room is heard again. Ideas arrive clothed in peace. The next right step appears modest and sure, not by might nor by power, but by my spirit, saith the Lord. So, when the shadow on the path looks scaled and coiled, bring the lamp. When suggestion shouts, smile and let it stand in the hall. Touch one truth, God, the only power. Be still, listen. Never look for results. Look to I. We are not fixing problems. We are witnessing reality. And as surely as dawn reveals that the monster in the corner was only a coat on a chair, you will find that beholding truth dissolves fear's noise, and the line is clear, the guidance quiet, the step obvious, and the heart at rest. Isn't that wonderful? Now let us walk it, not in leaps, not in lifetime blueprints, but in steps modest, sure, given. Thy word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. A lamp for the feet, not a floodlight for the entire continent. Do you hear the mercy in that? Give us this day our daily bread. This day. Not a warehouse for the next 20 years, but bread enough for the next right step. Take therefore no thought for the morrow shall take thought for the things of itself. Grace moves like that, one quiet yes at a time, one faithful no, one pause that lets the tide carry you rather than your shoulders carrying the sea. Here is your decision protocol, and keep it so simple that even in a crowded hallway you can do it. First, pause, a single breath. Open the hands in your lap if you can. Open the hands in your heart if you cannot. Second, contemplate one sentence only and mean it. God, the only power. Or, I in the midst of me am mighty. Or, speak, Lord, thy servant heareth. Third, listen, 30 seconds, a minute without outlining, without bargaining. And fourth, take the immediate step revealed, however small. Send or don't send. Call or don't call. Sign or set down the pen, go or wait, then let the rest alone. The morrow shall take thought for the things of itself. You will find that guidance often doesn't arrive as a paragraph, it arrives as a nudge wrapped in peace. You open the email draft that has troubled you, you pause. God, 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 silence. Then there it is, not prose, not fireworks, only a sense. Change the subject line to this single phrase, or wait until after lunch, or remove that last paragraph that argued too loudly. You obey. No trumpet sounds, but the reply that returns comes clothed in harmony instead of friction, and you smile because you did not force a door. You let the one who goeth before you open it. Or you stand with the phone in your hand. The mind is already staging the conversation, drafting speeches, defending its corners. Pause, be still, and know that I am God. Then hush. The listening delivers not an outcome, but a step. Call the other person first, or send a brief text. 3 words will do, then wait. Or, no call today. How do you know? Peace. My peace I give unto you. Guidance carries quiet rightness. Fear hurries and argues. If drama rises, set the phone down. If peace abides, obey the simple instruction and leave the theater of what-ifs outside the door. At the contract table, we practice the same way. Papers arranged, pens aligned, timelines pressing upon reputation. Pause. I will go before thee and make the crooked places straight. 1 sentence, 1 minute. Listen. Sometimes it will be a clear no that asks nothing of you but consent. Sometimes a gentle yes with a single condition. Ask for this clause, or change that date, or wait 24 hours. You are not map-making, you are step-taking. Stand still and see the salvation of the Lord. See it. Do not make it. And what of the body and the doctor? The same grace, the same order. Do not outline a diagnosis to omniscience. Do not rehearse symptoms in prayer. Touch one truth. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Then listen. If the nudge is, make the appointment, you make it in peace, not in panic. If the nudge is, wait till Monday and take a quiet walk today, you obey without superstition, without bravado. If a question rises to carry into the consultation, write it down. You are not refusing wisdom from any channel. You are refusing to be driven by fear. The step will be given, and the next after that, and the next after that. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He leadeth step by step. Never outline outcomes. Never demand the blueprint. The mind loves to paste pictures on the future and then tremble before its own collage. Leave it. Receive the step. He performeth that which is given me to do. He performeth. Your part is consent, not compulsion. Check for peace. Obey what peace gives. Let the rest alone. If later the light moves, you move with the light. Cloud by day, fire by night. The ancient story is present tense. The presence goes before you, you follow the pillar. You do not map the desert. So through the day, beloved, weave these tiny obediences. Before send, pause. Before speak, listen. Before sign, be still. Before you walk into any room that seems to decide a life, touch one truth and then hush. God, God, God. Then the step, and the marvel is this. Without blueprint, your life finds its sure course. Without strain, your tasks arrange themselves like stones in a path made visible just when you need the next stone. Not by might, nor by power, but by my Spirit, saith the Lord. Isn't that wonderfully simple and wonderfully sufficient for today? Beloved, to walk in steps and not in blueprints, we must unhook the heart from its old altars. Many of us still keep a little shrine in the corner to externals, people and paychecks, markets and moods. even to a very fine practitioner or a very clever plan. These are not enemies, they are merely channels. But if we lean our peace upon them, we will sway when they sway. Scripture speaks plainly. Put not your trust in princes, nor in the Son of Man, in whom there is no help. Trust is too holy to be given to changeable things. Trust rests where it is never withdrawn. I, in the midst of you, am mighty. I will never leave thee nor forsake thee. Let us practice now, simply and seriously, as ones who mean to live this. Say within, slowly, the I within me goes before me to make the crooked places straight. Again, the I within me goes before me to make the crooked places straight. Do you feel what that lifts off of your shoulders? Your security is not in the contract, the boss, the forecast, the weather. Your security is in I that goeth before, I that guideth within, I that performeth that which is given me to do. Channels may open and close, the fountain does not. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. Added, not chased. Added, not clutched. This withdrawal of reliance is very practical. It means we drop the patient and the condition. Do you hear me? Drop the patient and the condition. Refuse to measure your prayer by symptoms or the market by headlines. Never hold up the body to omniscience to ask if he has noticed the twinge. Never open the news as if it were a God that could bless or curse you. These are appearances, reports, suggestions to the sense mind. They are not the law of your being. Thou wilt keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on thee. Stayed on thee. Not on the chart, not on the mirror, not on the ticker tape. If you must look, look as a beholder, not a believer. Look and then turn within. God, God, God. Be still and know that I am God. Supply and safety are functions of consciousness, not of circumstances. Hear that as law for your house. A job is a channel, it is not supply. A bank balance is a number, it is not safety. The pantry is a cupboard, it is not bread. Man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of God. When consciousness rests in I, the words proceed, and channels show up like ravens to Elijah, like manna in a wilderness that had never seen it before, like oil that would not fail in a widow's jar. When consciousness clutches externals, fear rules, and the ear fills with static. When consciousness releases to I, fear loosens, and hearing sharpens. My sheep hear my voice. So your unhooking looks like this in the day's tiny scenes. Before you open the banking app, pause. One sentence. The I within me goes before me to make the crooked places straight. Then listen 30 seconds. If the nudge is, transfer this much, obey. If the nudge is, wait till Friday and write a thank you note instead, obey. Do not read the number as if it had jurisdiction over your peace. It has none. God, the only power. If you enter a consultation, arrive with your peace already given you. One sentence. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Listen. If a question rises, carry it in. If a change of doctor is given, do it without defiance and without fear. If the word is rest today, rest. You are not rejecting channels, you are refusing to crown them, you are crowning I. And what will you notice as this reliance turns inward? The drama winds down. You stop bargaining with people to be your saviors. You stop flattering circumstances to be your source. Gratitude deepens, yes, for every channel, for every kindness, for every door, but gratitude no longer kneels before the door, it kneels before the doorkeeper. The line clears. The gentlest nudges grow distinct. A yes arrives dressed in quiet. A no arrives without argument. The heart that was forever scanning the horizon for rescue settles into, He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. Leadeth. The leadership is inward. The path clears outward. Let your daily rule, then, be this. Withdraw your faith and reliance from externals. Invest it wholly in I. When fear points to symptoms, to headlines, to balances, smile and let them stand in the hall. Touch one truth. Listen. Obey the simple step. Never look for results. Look to I. And you will find that when faith rests in the I within, externals lose their power over your peace, and the way before you, which seemed crooked and crowded, grows straight and simple under your feet. Not by might, nor by power, but by my Spirit, saith the Lord. Isn't that wonderful? Now, before we go, let us be honest about the little potholes in the way and the gentle corrections that keep the line clear. First, desperation. The siren in the nerves says, hurry or lose. Beloved, that is not the shepherd's voice. In returning and rest shall ye be saved. In quietness and in confidence shall be your strength. Not in panic, not in combustion. When urgency rises, do not fuel it. Transmute it. One breath, slow, unforced, hands open. Say within, God, God, God. Be still and know that I am God. Convert the fire of hurry into the flame of reverent attention. The problem will tell you that 2 minutes of stillness will cost you your chance. Truth replies, 2 minutes of stillness will give you your step. He maketh me to lie down, he leadeth me. He maketh, he leadeth. You consent. Second, signs. Do not turn guidance into a scavenger hunt. Do not ask omniscience to jump through your hoops. If 3 green lights in a row and a sparrow at the window, then I will sign. That is not faith. That is bargaining with weather. An evil, an adulterous generation seeketh after a sign, not because they are wicked, but because fear wants, guarantees it can measure. Guidance does not strut. Guidance comes clothed in peace. My peace I give unto you. If a confirmation appears naturally within that peace, receive it. If nothing appears but quiet rightness, that is enough. Never lean on omens as crutches. Lean on I. The more you chase token proofs, the more pink elephants you breed. Smile. Let them stand in the hall and return to the simple. Speak, Lord, thy servant heareth. Then listen. Third, timing. We complain of delays as if God were late to his own appointment. Hear Ecclesiastes whisper over your calendar, he hath made everything beautiful in his time. In his time. Not yours, not mine. Many a delay is a shield you cannot see yet. Many a closed door is mercy. When the answer seems slow, do not jostle the hinges. Dwell in trust. Wait on the Lord. Be of good courage, and he shall strengthen thine heart. Waiting is not idleness. Waiting is poised receptivity. Keep doing the small obediences given for this hour. Write the note, clean the desk, walk in the garden, bless the one who seems to hinder you, and refuse to build a theology of absence out of a human clock. The tide is faithful. The tide remembers you. Fourth, ego scripts. The mind sits down with a yellow pad and stages the drama. What you will say, what they will say, how you will triumph or be wounded. Thank the playwright for its enthusiasm and retire the play. Smile softly within. Speak, Lord, thy servant heareth, then listen. If a sentence is truly given, it will arrive dressed in peace and humility, not in the costume of winning. If no sentence is given, carry silence as your eloquence, and let grace do the arranging. The Father that dwelleth in me, he doeth the works. He doeth, let him. And because heaven enjoys a little humor, notice this happy oddity as you practice. You are hooked on quiet. You will discover one day that you would rather sit 2 minutes than push 2 hours. You will choose a chair over a chase, a breath over a brawl, and find that the 2 minutes do more. Isn't that wonderful? That is not laziness. That is alignment. Not by might, nor by power, but by my Spirit, saith the Lord. Now, practical corrections you can carry in your pocket. If you feel desperate, pause, open the hands, whisper one truth, and rest your attention until the heat turns to light. If you find yourself hunting signs, stop the scavenger hunt, check for peace. Let any token come to you, never from you. If the clock seems to mock you, bless the delay, do the next small faithful thing, and say with Solomon, he hath made everything beautiful in his time. If the mind begins its speeches, smile, lay down the script, and say, speak, Lord, thy servant heareth. If nothing is clear, release. Return to I and wait without strain. Never look for results. Look to I. When in doubt, release. When confused, return. When hurried, wait. They that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. Strength is renewed not by frenzy, but by consent. And as you live this brief pauses, faithful listening, gentle obedience, you will find that desperation loses its volume, omens lose their glamour, time loses its teeth, and the mind learns to sit in its proper chair. The line clears. The whisper is heard. The step is sure. I, in the midst of you, am mighty. I will never leave thee nor forsake thee. Stand still and see the salvation of the Lord. See it. Do not make it. And the day will walk itself in grace.